So, as many of you know, I am a 62-year-old man who has come out of retirement and am working as a custodian, first time ever in my life, at a local Catholic school here in Greenfield, where I live. I've been asked quite frequently about my travels. We only have one car in our family, and my wife works 8 to 4. My hours are like 2 to 8:30. So I'm on a bicycle. I haven't been on a bicycle in at least 30 years. So, what I'm going to do for you today in this video is I'm documenting a nighttime ride. This happened just a couple of days ago on Friday the 21st. And this is what it looks like from the front of the school as I'm preparing to take a evening ride home. It's about 8:30 when this started. Trying to do is get my light set up under my helmet. The camera's point of view is atop my helmet, so it'll be documenting the trip as I begin, which is here in just a minute or so. The cool thing about this camera is it's very lightweight. It's easy to carry around. There's the church itself, St. Michael. And I'm getting ready to exit the parking lot. Where I was going with that was the cool thing is about this camera is it's very lightweight, very easy to take with you in whatever situation that you want it in as a point of view camera. And I think it only cost me like $45 or so, but it takes great pictures. Um, but camera technology is so good these days that you really don't get the twilight perspective that I was hoping for in this. Probably in another couple of weeks, it'll be even darker. So you probably get a better view of it. But it's picking up the ambient light outside, but it was actually probably 3 or 4 shades darker than this. But basically, I start the journey off from the school southbound through a neighborhood um, about 2.5 miles from home. I think it's 2.7 miles total. One of the things you're going to notice if you watch the whole thing or watch enough of it is I am constantly looking to my right. And the reason for that is that's how I can see behind me. When I try to look behind me from the left, it takes my gaze off the road and it causes my head to drop, which makes me feel like I'm going to fall off the bike. So it's much easier to look back to my right. This is behind a row of businesses on US 40. And you'll see me cut through here in just a second um, over to US 40. Weird intersection here. It's a four-way intersection, but it's not a standard four-way. There's four different directions you can come from at that intersection. But right there in front of me is US 40, which is probably the most dangerous portion of my commute to and from work every day, crossing 40, at least at my age. I try to do it where I don't have to stop here, and I got lucky. I had nothing westbound, nothing eastbound. So I got out onto 40 fairly well. There is a bike lane there, but that bike lane, and I'm traveling in it, can't tell, but I am in it. It's full of gravel, rocks, and all kinds of other stuff, so it's kind of horrible. And if you saw very quickly there, I do use hand signals. I'm now southbound on Franklin. Franklin's a very good street for me if I'm going to ride in the street because it's two lanes, one northbound, one southbound, but there's a huge center turn lane that goes about three-quarters of the way down the road. So I'm definitely in the center turn lane. That way, cars behind me don't have to be behind me. They can go past me anytime they want to. That's Fisk Trash Services there on the left hand side, and on the right is Republic Trash Services. That's the new water tower that we've built for the southeast side of Greenfield, and there's the Greenfield 911 Center just right there to the right. That's where Cindy used to work. And if you look closely, you can see the moon up there. Now I'm crossing over into the northbound lane. There is a bicycle lane there too, but again, it's full of gravel and rubber and all kinds of other crap. But I noticed there was only one car coming, so it was much safer to be there. Plus, there is a car to my right. You're going to see it in a few minutes. And he even honks at me. I thought it was somebody that knew who I was. That guy. Pulled up right next to me, slowed down. I thought, okay, what did I do wrong here? But he's actually turning. And I think he was letting me go. So that's very unusual. That's one of the things I have to worry about is getting T-boned when I turn. This is the brand new rental neighborhood they built just east of the 911 center. The guy that turned next to me, if you look, he's right there. He actually followed me into that neighborhood and then basically followed me out of that neighborhood, which is the second time this week somebody has actually followed me from that turning point all the way through this neighborhood. This is Center Street. The city of Greenfield opened this section up over a year ago now, and there's new homes being developed right there, which is kind of weird because that is a was a wildlife sanctuary type thing. It was a wetlands area that was protected, but they opened it and they're building homes on the wetlands area. So, with my knowledge, I would never buy a house there because I wouldn't be guaranteed that it's not going to flood. Unless, of course, the city fixed that drainage issue. It was a wetlands area. This is going into the old neighborhood that Cindy and I used to live in, which is directly across the street from the new neighborhood. For me, it's somewhat safer to ride through the neighborhood than it is to go the normal way, which is down Franklin to Davis and across Davis. Primarily because the traffic is much slower and much lighter if I drive through the neighborhood. The problem is, I like getting home as quickly as humanly possible, and this route adds 2 minutes to my drive. This is coming out of the old neighborhood southbound, and directly across the street is my neighborhood. Nothing west of me on Davis, nothing east of me on Davis. And here I am. I can let my hair down a little bit here because I'm in my neighborhood. Alrighty, get ready to come up on the final turn. And yes, the streets are wet. There was a thunderstorm about an hour before I left, somewhere around 7:30 Friday night. Here I am on my street, straight at the end of the street, and a lot of you have seen it. because you've seen pictures of ours on Facebook and various social media areas. But there's the house. And Cindy was nice enough to have left the garage door open. So here we go. Kind of gives you an appreciation of that light that I use. If you can't see that, there's something wrong with you. But anyway, that was my trip home, my twilight trip home on Friday the 21st. Hope you all enjoyed the ride. There'll be more to post.